Good morning, good morning. Happy Veterans Day. It's your boy once again, African, coming to you. Ah, what a beautiful day, what a beautiful day, what a beautiful day. First of all, uh, you guys might be wondering, why is he named African? Uh, a lot of people I meet every day ask me the same question. Why do they name you African? Well, let me explain before I get into this video, okay? The name Afrikaan, because I'm an African and I'm a Caribbean person. I was born and raised in the Caribbean half my life, and then I moved to here to the States. Uh, well, Afrikaan mean African Caribbean in a whole. Afri, F-R-I, comes from Africa, and the C-O-N-N, which is Caribbean Connection. Uh, I used to be in the landscaping business, the tree service business, and everybody used to call me. They never called me by my right name. They always called me Jamaica. So I met a friend of mine on the job, and he said, "Why you guys always call this man Jamaican?" And he said, "You know what? As of today, I'm gonna be naming you Afrikaan." I'm like, African. It's like you're African and you're from the Caribbean, so African would fit you perfectly. And from that day, everybody started calling me African, which is Friconn. Okay. Once again, I want to say special shout out to all the veterans, the past, the future, and the present. Why I'm really doing this video is because I was inspired by someone, a gentleman. He didn't serve, which I really don't know if he served in the any of our armed forces, but I know he's a state trooper. Uh, I'm a truck driver, tow truck driver. So I was dispatched one day to pick up some cars in St. Petersburg, Florida, here in Florida. And on my way back from picking up those cars, I was coming over the Edward Franklin Bridge, which a lot of people may or may not know the Edward Franklin Bridge. It's the bridge that bridged the gap between St. Petersburg and Tampa Bay, Florida. So while coming across the bridge, I noticed something going wrong with my truck, and I was like, okay. I know it's not normal because it's a old truck. It's an old truck, a very old truck. It's a very old truck. It's one of them 4900 DT 466E International. But I love that truck because that truck does a lot of things that I see these little tow trucks cannot do. And so, anyway, coming across the bridge, the truck actually it shut off in the middle of the road actually, and I managed to slide it because I was coming down the slope, so I still had a little friction for it to roll. So I was trying my very best to roll it to the side of the road, to get out of the busy traffic. Because if any one of you know the Edward Franklin Bridge, you know, whether you're going south or you're going north, it's, it's a busy bridge, 24 hours a day. It's like the bridge that never sleeps, so to speak. Anyway, um, it stops in the middle lane. Not really in the middle lane, but I managed to. It shut off in the middle lane, but I rolled it over to the right side, which is the last lane to the right. Uh, got out the truck and I try my very best, because I'm not a professional mechanic, but I could call myself a mechanic because a lot of things that I've done on my vehicles and get it up and running, I could say that I'm a mechanic and not just a tow truck driver because I drive my truck, but I also work on my truck most of the time when the mechanics from the yard is not available or is busy doing something else and I need my truck to get on the road, so I do things myself. So you could call me a do-it-yourself guy, or you know a DIY, whichever you guys want to put it. Anyway, I got it off the side of the road, and I checked fuel, as mandatory, which I knew I had fuel because it was just my first trip, so I know my truck had fuel, but nevertheless, I had to check anyway because it's mandatory. So I checked my fuel. My fuel was okay. I was 3/4 tank full. Checked my battery terminals. They were tightened and in place. Check the wire on my starter. Um, I checked for antifreeze. I checked my computer, to see if any wire came loose because, like I said, it's an old truck, so anything is possible. And you know, I went back in the truck and I tried to start it over and over and over, and no such luck. And I said, "Oh my God, what is this?" But it was a surprising to me because I experience this on a day-to-day basis. It doesn't break down every day, but every now and then it breaks down because it's an old truck. It's a 1999 International, so it's service time, so to speak. So I got out, I got back out the truck and I said, let me check other things, little things, and I went back in the truck and I tried to start it over and over and over until it actually killed the battery. So I was like, oh my God, this is not happening to me again. Before I knew it, Florida DOT showed up. Florida Department of Transportation showed up. They asked me what's going on, and I explained to them that the truck just came to a complete halt. It was shut off on me and everything, and I checked everything that I know mandatory I should check, and still can't get it to start. He said, "Don't worry about it. We'll get things rolling." So they got out and they started put their cones down as mandatory, as the state demands that they put cones around the truck to let incoming traffic be aware that something is going on ahead of them, and that they can slow down ahead of time, which I think that's great. That's really great because way back in the days we didn't have none of that. So we improve a lot here in Florida when it's come to you know safety, road safety. We have improved a lot. We have come a long way, and that's why I love the state of Florida because they follow procedures to the letter. Anyway, um, you know, he put his cones down and do what he has to do and everything. And while he was doing that, I was still in the truck trying to start the truck to see if I could get the truck running. And it just completely killed the battery, completely. That all the lights went out. I had no AC in the truck no more, not even the fan blowing or anything like that. So I'm like, oh my God, you know. Then a few minutes later, the sheriff shows up and uh, he came out and, he approached me in a polite manner, very polite manner. He said, "Sir, what's going on?" I explained to him that I was driving, eating my lunch, driving back to the yard in Spring Hill. That's where our headquarters at, and the truck just shut off, and then I tried to glide it off out the road, and it just glide to wherever I feel like stopping because it wasn't an empty truck. I had two cars on it, one on the bed and one on the Stinger. And I really don't know what's going on because I checked everything. I checked body terminal starters, fuel, every little thing, and I couldn't get it to start. He said, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry. We're gonna get this under control. We're gonna take care of things for you." Which I felt relief because he didn't approach me in an aggressive manner as stories that I've heard in the past where state troopers they approach truck drivers, especially a black guy like me living in America, in Florida, which I'm not really from here. I wasn't born here. I migrated here, in the 90s. And, I have my few run-ins with with state troopers. Not bad, because I haven't broke the law. I never broke the law. I never been arrested. I never been to jail. I'm 51 years old today. Thank God. Thanks to the mighty one. I could get up this morning to make this video for all my fans and families and well wishers. Thank you to the Almighty One that I'm here today to share this story with you guys. So he comfort me in the best possible way, he can as a state trooper, in his line of duty. And I was really grateful and thankful for that. So, uh, he took my name, he took my driver's license, and, he said, sit tight, let me go and check as mandatory because they have to check to see if you are legal or illegal because you're driving a truck. So, you better make sure you got your insurance up to date, your registration up to date, and your driver's license is up to date, and it's qualified for the truck and the weight that you're carrying because, truck drivers and trucks differ. Driver's license differ based on not really the size of the truck, but the weight of the truck and how much it carries or it pulls. So all that has to be checked. So he went and he checked, and he came back with my driver's license, and I'm like, okay, I got a relief, because like I said, I got running in the past with state troopers, and some were polite and some weren't, because we're all truck drivers, and as a truck driver, you encounter, state troopers more than the normal driver and the road on a daily basis. So he came back and his every I knew everything was okay, but you never know what can happen on a day-to-day basis. So I explained to him what happened, and everything like that. I called my boss, which is the owner of the company, like I always do, because I love that man and I respect that man so much for what he has done for me over the years of working with him. I know that he's like an angel in human form. So anything that happens to me on the road, before I call the office, my co-workers, I always call him first and let him be aware, because he's been in business for over 40 years. I'm just working with him for a couple of years, so he know the procedures and the steps to take, and what not to do, what and what not to say when you get pulled over, or you encounter any situation like what I'm in right now. So I called him, I explained to him. He said, okay, go ahead and call the office and let the office manager aware of what's going on. So I called my office manager, and I told him what happened. He said, hang tight. Gonna get a relief, another truck driver to come out and relieve you of those vehicles and your truck, and then we'll see where we go from there, if we can tow the truck to the yard and stuff like that. I had him on speaker because I wanted the state trooper to hear what the conversation was all about. So the state trooper, I gave the state trooper the phone to talk to him, and the state trooper explained to him that right at this moment it is not possible for you to send someone out to relieve him, because it's in rush hour and he's actually in the road. He's not on the soft shoulder. He's in the road. So we have to take care of the situation like right now, and not within an hour or two, because sending out a driver or someone to relieve him from your location to this location is going to take a long time. Maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, who knows, because it's rush hour. And it's not easy to get through rush hour and the Edward Franklin Bridge, because even you get to the Edward Franklin Bridge, you have to go all the way down to the last exit and then turn around to come back up. So my office managers, they understand the situation, and they said, okay, you do what you guys do best. I just want to get my driver. I don't care about the truck or anything like that. I just want to get my driver off the road and make sure he's safe and secure. State trooper said, thank you, sir. I do understand and I do appreciate, but we'll do the best we can. So the Department of Transportation gentleman, he went ahead and called the tow truck driver, which is we call it riggers. I'm a tow truck driver, but these guys are riggers. They drive the bigger rigger trucks that can pull big trucks like mine with 2 cars on it. So a few minutes after the rigger driver showed up, and they took my information and everything, and got things rolling, start rigging up the truck and everything like that. The state trooper said, okay, how are you going to get home from here? I said, well, I have to sit here and wait for my office manager to send me a reliever to pick me up, so they can take me back to the office so I can get home. He said, sir, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let that happen to you. I'm not going to leave you here in this sun, in this heat. Because, I had water and Gatorade in my cooler, and I drank water, I drank cooler, Gatorade from my cooler, pour water on my head. I was wet from the water, I was wet from the sun, and guys, I'm gonna tell you how hot this day was. I kept on pouring water on my head, and every 5 minutes I would be dry. I would be dry. Right? That's how hot the day is. You can imagine, every 5 minutes I'm dry from pouring water on my head. So he said, I'm not going to leave you here. I'm going to do whatever it takes in the best of my capacity to make sure you get off this bridge and get home safe. I said, thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it, because right now I'm frustrated. I'm tired. I'm dehydrated. I, I, I just want to get off this bridge, you know. He said, don't worry, I'll take care of you. I'm going to take you to a location where you can get water, something to drink, something to eat. You can relax in a cool AC environment, and you know, you can take it from there. And I said, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it like 100%. Um, but you know, in the back of my head, I'm like, should I do this? Should I take the ride? 'Cause this is a state trooper, and I never been in the car of a state trooper before. So I'm thinking, this man put me in the back of this trooper and he drops me off somewhere, people is gonna start looking at me, you know, because you know how people are. They see you getting out of a police car or a state trooper car or a sheriff car, they're thinking you're a criminal. And that day I was in my work clothes. I was, like I said, I was working in and out of the engine underneath the truck. You know, I got black, I got dirty, uh, greasy. You know, I know what people is gonna start thinking in their head, like, okay, you know, he just dropped off a criminal, so they're gonna start looking at me. They probably, some people might even call the local sheriff department on me that, okay, you guys need to get here because I think someone is in this mall and he's a criminal. But anyway, he said, you know, he was ready. He asked me if I'm ready to go, and I said, yeah, I'm ready to go. And he said, get in the front of the car. I'm like, in the front of the car? He's like, yeah, get in the front of the car. And I'm like, wow, wow, wow. I- I'm, I'm gonna be chauffeur driven by a state trooper, and in the front of his car. Wow, this is amazing. This is like a first time experience that blew my mind away. And I was like, wow. So I got in the car, you know, let myself become comfortable, you know, put my seatbelt on and everything like that, waited for him. He went and he spoke with the tow truck driver, and you know, he told them, listen, please do take care of this man's truck and his property and his belongings, make sure everything is okay and nothing happens to his truck or his property, because like I said, I couldn't put all my coolers and stuff, you know, in the trooper's car, because he's just giving me a ride as a courtesy. So you know, all I could grab was my lunch kit, which is my work bag that I carry my a change of clothes, or you know, in case something happen, you know, stuff like that. Daily stuff that daily truck drivers need. You know, in their bag, or you know, their work case, so to speak. So we got in, and you know, he spoke with DOT, and you know, let them know that as soon as he start rolling off, and the truck is removed, they can start removing the cones and everything like that, because they had cones all around the truck from the front to the back, and maybe 10-15 feet behind the Stinger car that was on the truck, just to, you know, let incoming traffic be aware of what's going on, so they can slow down. You know, because like I said, it's rush hour and everybody's rushing either to get to work or to get home, wherever they're going, and you don't want any accident to happen. So you know, everybody comply and everybody work in sync. You know, and that's why I love Florida. That's why I love my state troopers. That's why I love my sheriff department. That's why I love my Department of Transportation and truck drivers. We all work in sync to get things done in a professional manner, and you know, in a timely manner. So yeah, we got in, and you know, we start driving across the bridge and everything like that, and the Edward Franklin Bridge is not a smooth bridge. You know, it has its rough little patches here and there. So, I think he was driving a Dodge Challenger or a Dodge Avenger or something like that, because that's the main vehicles that they drive. And you know, I felt a little shaky here and there, and I turned to him, and we sparked up a conversation, and I said to him, I asked him, I said, is this an average daily day basis that your vehicle, the Dodge, jerks like this? And he's like, yeah. We drive these cars on a day-to-day basis, so from time to time it gets its wear and tear, and that's how it is, and that's Dodge for you. And I'm like, yeah, I can understand, I can relate, because I'm a owner of a Dodge Journey myself, and a couple years after I owned my Dodge Journey, it started to doing the same thing, you know mainly in the rear end. It will shake a bit here and there, and it said, no, it's Dodge, it happens. And I'm like, I thought I was the only one, because I work on my vehicles myself, and I'm a lover of Dodge. I love other vehicles, but I'm a die-hard Dodge lover. I'm a Dodge lover. Anything Dodge, from the cars to the SUVs to the pickup trucks, you know. I'm a Dodge, because they're easy to maintain, they're easy to work on. So yeah, and I told him, I said, I can relate, because mine was doing the same thing, but after I changed my shocks and my struts and stabilizer bars and everything, my Dodge went back to not 100% normal as factory made, but it improved my driving experience a whole lot better than when I had the old ones from the factory. Which you're not gonna really get the factory parts. You're gonna get really OEM or aftermarket parts, but they work in sync. Not 100%, but they work in sync, and so we spoke, and we share a few laugh and a few gestures and everything like that, and while we're driving, and I'm like, oh my God, this man is amazing. He's amazing. I've made a friend. I made a friend, you know and at one point, you know it was like I felt like a king, like the president, like the mayor, like I just felt like someone important in this society, as a black man coming from a Caribbean island, not even from a big country in the continent of the motherland, Africa. I'm from Jamaica. I'm just a small guy. I'm not even from a rich home or a rich family. I'm just from a normal, everyday family. But somehow this man make me feel special. So, we finally got to the mall. We got out. He got out. I got out. I thank him, and I appreciated him for what he did for me, and to show you how this man was looking out for me, he gave me a card, and the card that he gave me was from another tow truck company. He was like, man, I know your truck is an old truck, and but if you ever want to change jobs, I'm giving you this card, so you can call these guys and tell them who you are. You're a tow truck driver and you're looking for a job and everything like that. And I sent you, I recommended you. And I said thank you. I appreciate the love and care and support. We shook hands. And once again, I felt proud of my state troopers, because he actually shook my hand. No, Mark, this wasn't a black man. This was a white man, an American. But in the minds of these troopers, the color of your skins means nothing. It's how you behave, how you react, how you interact, how you compose yourself that makes you respectable. And I respected him for that. I got into the mall, got something to eat, something to drink, and waited on my Uber because my office manager sent me an Uber, which I have to do a story on him. Not in this video, but I have to do another complete story of him because he's another hero to me. He's another veteran to me. So I'm like, because what really inspired me to do this video, because this happened a couple months ago, but what really inspired me to do this video is because of a police officer from the sheriff department was driving through my neighborhood one night, and I didn't got stopped. She just slowed down and told me that my light on my bike went out because like I said, I'm a tow truck driver. I drive 8, 9, 10 hours a day. I picked up cars so much, and I get tired, and then I have to get to the yard, and then I have to drive my car home, and so I still work out, and my workout is my bike. I'll park my car at home and I'll jump on my bike and I'll ride, maybe if I need to go to the store, or maybe if I need to visit a friend, or, just regular workout, work out my feet and stuff like that and get prepared for the next day. So I had light on my bike on the front and the back, but, I didn't check the batteries in my my little light on the back of the bike to see if everything was okay. So I pulled out of my gateway and I start riding down the road, and I didn't realize that my light went out. And she slowed down beside me and she said, you got to be careful because there's no light on your bike. I see the light on the front, but there's no light on the back. And I'm like, oh my God, I think my body died. And she was like, okay, yeah, just be careful. But let's not get into that because her story is also another video. Because she inspired me to do this video. She inspired me to do this video on this sheriff because I met a hero, an everyday hero, an everyday veteran. And I'm saying to you, Floridonians and people in America and around the globe, you meet veterans every day, you meet heroes every day, and it's what they do and how they do it that makes them a veteran. So we don't have to wait on Veterans Day to, recognize that someone is a veteran or someone is a hero, because we have veterans amongst us that's still in active duty. And this state trooper, I'm not going to call his name or mention the department that he's, what station or department he's on, but he's a state trooper here in Florida. And I know he knows himself. If ever he's watching this video today, tomorrow, next year, or 10 years after, or whatever down the line, and he's watching this video ever make it to the internet and social media, and he's watching it, he knows himself. You know yourself, sir. You know yourself. You're my veteran. You're my hero. You know yourself. And I know you're going to look at this video and you're going to be like, oh, that's the guy. That's the gentleman that broke down on the Edward Franklin Bridge a couple months ago or a couple years ago. And I helped him to get to the mall and rescued him from the heat and the sun and the hustle and bustle of the Edward Franklin Bridge. Sir, you have no idea how much I love and respect what you did for me. You are my veteran. My veteran. And you don't have to retire to be my veteran. You're my veteran on active duty. Because I know you're on active duty. But you are a veteran. And it's because of what you do. It's how you compose yourself. It's how you relate to me. It's how you spoke to me. It's how you laugh with me. It's how you smile with me. You not only brought joy to my face, but you brought it also to my heart. You also brought it to my heart. My heart. And I love and I respect you for that. You know yourself. You know that I'm talking about you. You know I'm talking about you. You know yourself. Or you know me. You might not remember the face offhand, but when you watch this video and you hear my story, you're going to remember. I'm the guy that's here today on this Veteran Day to say thank you for being an active veteran. Because we don't appreciate what these state troopers do. We don't. And we have no idea the capacity of their job and what they face on a day-to-day basis when they pull someone over. They don't know what to expect. They don't. They could pulling over a law-abiding citizen. They could be pulling over a criminal, a wanted person. They don't know. They don't know until they approach you. They take your name and your information before they find out who you are. They get up every day, they put their uniform on, they put their badge on, their service revolver, and they go in their car and they go out every day and they leave their family at home to go there. They don't know what they're expecting. Because in my mind, there's no expectation in their mind. They're just about to go out there and do the job that they were assigned to do, what they signed up to do, what they were trained to do, and they do it diligently, respectfully, and honestly. That's their job. To keep the peace, to protect the citizens, the resident, to protect the city and the state, and also the country. So I want to send a special shout out to this very special gentleman that have a place in my heart and always will have a place in my heart. That I thank you and I appreciate you for what you're doing for your state. And I'm not just saying this for just you, but for every man and woman that's serving in the State Department, in the Troopers State Department here in Florida. I haven't been to other state to see what the state troopers, all about, and I have no experience there, which in the future, I have this philosophy that I believe that you guys are all the same. You do your job just the same. It doesn't matter what state you're in. And I want to, in the future, I would like to travel around the states and interact with different state troopers from different states. To see what their life is, and what their journey is on a day-to-day basis, if it's different from the ones here in Florida. But I know the state troopers here in Florida, a lot of times people like, I don't like state troopers, they're aggressive, they don't treat people right. But like I said, they're only humans. They're only humans. They got flesh and blood just like you and I. They have a job to do just like you and I. They're professionals just like you and I. They're one of the first responders because, like I said, we got a lot of responders. You know, you got the state troopers and the sheriff department, the police department. They're first responders. Then you have, you know, the fire department. They're like really the second responders. Then you have the medical team. They're like the third responders. You know, and then you have you know, tow truck drivers. You know, you got have people that comes and clean the streets after all that's said and done. So you have all different type of responders in different categories of their job. So, you know, I'm here on this Veterans Day to say, sir, I thank you and I appreciate you for the love that you showed me, the courtesy that you showed me, the respect that you showed me, the integrity, you know, of the Florida State Department, you know, and also the Florida Department of Transportation. You guys are amazing. You guys are doing an amazing job. You know, I love you guys for that. You know, just keep doing what you're doing. You know, I know that, you know, your job is not easy, and, you know, every day is a different day and every day is a different experience. But, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. You know, don't let anything or anyone ever change you from who you are, because you guys are an amazing, you know, and this perspective of men and women, because it's not just, we don't just have state troopers, we also have female state troopers. So big shout out to the female state troopers as well. I love you guys also. But this video is not about you guys. This is about one single individual gentleman, state trooper, that brought happiness and joy to my life. Because, you know, at one point in time, you know, I was on the bridge and I was like, I'm giving up. No more tow truck driving for me. I'm gonna look for something else to do, you know, because tow truck driving is not just my, it's not just what I know. I know to do other things, you know. I'm a jack of all trade, master of none. Well, yeah, I could say master of none, because I haven't mastered any of my trade, but I learned them very well that I can survive on them, right? So a big shout out to this gentleman. You know who you are, you know yourself. On this Veterans Day, I want to say blessings to you and your family, and I love you, man. I love you. I really love you. I don't say this every day. I don't tell people every day that I love them, but man, I really do love you from the bottom of my heart. I love you for what you did for me. You rescued me. You rescued me, my brother. You rescued me. You could have left me there on the bridge in the heat that day. You did. You could have left me there and said, okay, my job is done. I got this truck off the road and I got traffic to flow again. You know, you're just a black man. You're not even important. So I'm just going to leave you here. And if you want to walk home or someone want to drop you off to the nearest exit or, you know, entrance, whatever the case may be, that's on you. But this man took it up on himself. Put me in his car, in the front of his car, take me to the mall, and not just took me to the mall. He stayed with me for a while to make sure that I was okay. And when I said make sure I was okay, that when I spoke with my office manager, that I was guaranteed that someone was coming to pick me up. And until then, that man would not leave me, because he wanted to make sure that I didn't get stuck in that mall, that I actually got picked up from that mall and get home safe. So I know this is Veterans Day, and veterans mean that we're supposed to honor our veterans that serve in the past. And I do. I appreciate them. I love them and I appreciate veterans because when I come across a veteran, I tell them that I love them and I appreciate them for the job that they have done and the job that they're still doing because a lot of them leave the armed force and, become a regular citizen, you know, but they're still doing their part in society. Even though they're not in active duty anymore, they still come back to this country and support us, do the best of they can. So we're supposed to be supporting them in whatever journey they took or they're taking after active duty, after they have served, after they have laid their life on the line to protect us, to keep us safe, that we can sleep in our bed at night. They still come back and still doing good. But in my opinion, veterans are not just people who serve, but people who are still serving. And veterans doesn't have to come from the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, the National Guard. There are veterans here in the local sheriff department, in the local police department, in the state troopers department, the Florida Department of Transportation. There are veterans here in the hospitals. There are veterans here in the schools. There are veterans on the road driving every day as a truck driver, as a delivery driver. Veterans comes in many different ways and form. So we look to our servicemen and said, "Oh, you're the only veteran, so we're not gonna respect the man that served us in the past in the police department or the sheriff department or the state troopers department. They're not veterans because they didn't go overseas to lay their life on the line to serve and protect our country. No, they're serving and protecting our country in the past, in the present, and in the future. These guys are also veterans. These guys are also daily heroes in people's life, in people's everyday life. These guys are heroes. These men and women that serving in these different various departments, they're also veterans. And I don't want to honor someone who did good for me when he's dead and gone, because it means nothing to him and it's meaningless to me. I have to love, respect, and cherish him for what he's done and he's doing and will continue to do while still alive here on earth in their various departments. So on this note, I want to say big shout out to the Florida state trooper department of state troopers. I want to say big shout out to you guys. You guys are amazing. You guys are doing an amazing job. I know it's not easy, but it's up to us, the resident, the citizens of this state, to make your job easy. Without us making your job easy, your job will never ever be easy. So guys, when you get pulled over by a state trooper, respect these men and women. They pull you over for a reason or a cause. Respect them. Be kind, be generous, but most of all, be respectful. Respect yourself, because if you don't respect yourself, you cannot respect them. They respect themselves, that's why they're respecting you. But if you let them lose that respect for you, then you will find yourself on the other side of the law, which you don't want. So when they pull you over, these guys are not bad people. They are only doing their job, and they approach the job or the situation based on how you approach them, by the way you answers them, by the way you react, your body language, things that come out of your mouth. Think twice before you speak. Think twice before you speak. Because these men and women that's in the state troopers department, they have a job to do, but they cannot do this job without your help, your professionalism, your respect, and your understanding for the job that they're doing. So on this Veterans Day, I want to say big shout out to the State Trooper Department. I love you guys. I respect you guys. I absolutely can't find the right words to explain how well you guys are doing your job. Sometimes things are rough, but you know what they say, when times get rough, we have to come together, because the tough gets going. When times get tough, the tough gets going. But we can change that by changing our personality and our perspective and state troopers. Because they're veterans, they're heroes. They have a job to do. They put their life on the line. They leave their family behind each and every day just to come out, to serve and to protect, to make sure you are okay. So on this day, this Veterans Day, I want to say to the men and women in the State Troopers Department, I love you guys. I respect you guys. And words can't begin to explain how much I love and respect you guys. But like I said, it's not about the State Troopers Department. It's about one single man, one single state trooper that made a difference in my life. And if he can make a difference in my life, I can go out there and make a difference in someone else's life. So, happy Veterans Day. And I'm blessed. I'm 51 years old. The 8th of November was my birthday, and I was born in November. And this is one of the greatest days in the history of America, Veterans Day. And I'm proudly blessed to say that I was born in the month that we honor our veterans. This is a special month. Not just today, because to me, today is just one day. But the entire month of November, I believe, should be Veterans Month. Just like how we have Black History Month, we have different, months that, we do things for the whole month. This should be, November should be Veterans Month, because we don't only have Veterans Day, we have Election Day, we have so many holidays in this month. So this should be renamed Veterans Month, not Veterans Day. So, love and respect to the State Trooper Department and all the men and women that serve in the past, serve in the present, and serving in the future. Thank you, and God bless you all. Have a wonderful Veterans Day, and God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been an honor. It's been, you know, I just don't know how to start saying thank you, man. Thank you. You know, it's all I can say. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans that serve in the past, because whenever time it comes to the month of November, it's it's an emotional month for me, because this is not just my birth month, but it represents the month that you know, people go out there and vote for their president, their future leader. It represents our veterans that served in the past, and like I said, veterans doesn't mean in my vocabulary that, you know, they go out there, lay their life on the line, and they serve, and they come home, and they come home alive, one hand, one foot, or, you know, PhD or whatever the case may be, whatever they come back home with, then we said they are veterans. No, we're supposed to honor them and respect them every single day. Every day they put that uniform on and go out there, you should consider them a veteran in your mind. Happy Veterans Day. Love you all. Until next time, walk good.